Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this week's question and answer session. Just before we get to anything, just to give our sponsor ODYS a little look at, and if you're interested in age domain names, they're done for your affiliate websites. But let us know who is in the chat. Just give us a shout, ask your questions, and you can see that we have the legend Holly Stark here to fight with Chris. Chris said last week that the KGR was bullshit. I might have agreed, but I'm just going to clear up with Chris. I ain't fighting with Holly, so we have Holly here today, who will also be here to answer some questions that you guys have got. But before we do any of that stuff, Holly, have you got something to share, something to say to Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that there's a lot of people that say that KGR is a bullshit metric because, like Ahrefs is a metric, Moz is a metric, and they all can be manipulated. So it is a metric, but if you know how to manipulate it, then the metric can work for you. It's always, everyone knows my business model is about manipulation. So if I can manipulate it by posting the KGR terms on a high authority blog or like a YouTube video or whatever the case is, you're going to have a better chance of getting that term on, the first 2 pages, and you're already going to have a head start. I'm not saying KGR is going to rank you number 1 for a term that has 2,000 searches, like off the bat, but over a 3 or 4 week span, if you're good at manipulation and you understand what Google wants, then KGR is a really simple way of ranking for easy, even if it's easy competition, that's okay, because that's what we want. We don't want hard competition. We want easy competition because we can pull the traffic in on the easy and then work on the hard. So I do like when I first did it, I was like, it's a bullshit metric. Like the guy's just trying to sell a course and blah, 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 So I do see both ways. I've tested it over and over again with things that like Web 2.0s and Blogger and Weeble and stuff like that. It's a shit platform. Maybe like even if you're doing stacking, it's a shit platform. So if you're doing something on a quality platform or quality sites, then I think it'll work better for you.
That's a nice piece of information, actually, right? If we can target low competition keywords utilizing a KGR and or a method of any sorts to find low competition on a authority domain, we're going to see better success.
Right.
No, come on.
I love it. Okay. No.
But even if you post that on a shit domain, or you don't know what you're doing with backlinking, that even if you find like the easiest term ever, but you don't know what you're doing, or you don't post it on the right type of a platform, it's not going to rank.
And that's
so it's kind of like if you give me, say SE Nuke, I don't know very well. Years ago I could use SE Nuke, but now I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to use it. So the tool is in that person who has it. I can make something manipulation, but like if I gave it to my wife, she would be like, she wouldn't know what to do. So it's kind of in the eyes of the beholder. Who's working on it is based on whether or not it's going to work for you.
That's how I was going to lead into. And I think that, who's doing this method, I think that has a big factor, because that's almost like if we're looking at, say, Ahrefs or SEMrush or whatever as a metric, KGR is a metric as well, but whoever's operating it is going to find the winning keywords. So I like that terminology. So basically what we're getting at is it's just another way to find lower competition. And depending on who's utilizing it is going to find the better success. But a quick tip that Holly gave us is if we can find low comp and put them on high authority domains, we're going to get quick wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
I did. So after your shit, it doesn't work. I was like, fuck this. I went and I did a posting across my, I think maybe it was 10 Google News, and they weren't strong ones, not compared to, what I have, just regular Google News sites and for Baby Yoda stuff. And it actually ranks for terms that has 2,000 keywords, 2,000 searches a month, and it's on, let's see. So the one that has 24 monthly searches is number 11. The one that has 880 is number 17. So again, if I did that on Webull though, or a shitty platform, I wouldn't get a result. So I can, it's kind of like a great assault. You have to use the right platform. You have to know what you're doing.
And do we think that this is going to be more effective than, say, going to SEMrush and looking for a low competition difficulty keyword? So if I gave you a low competition keyword from, say, SEMrush's metric and said, okay, Holly, do you think that you would get similar results as in going through we're going to take this number and then divide it by this, and we come up with, if it's under this, then it's a keyword golden ratio? Do you think it's the same? You would perform the same either way, right?
I would perform the same either way, yeah. Because like my business model is not to, say you have Dallas Plumber. Everyone wants to rank for Dallas Plumber. I want to rank for all the other cities around Dallas. So you guys can fight for Dallas for a year while I get the traffic all around Dallas. So it's more like, it's just really around what your business model is. I'm going to go for the easiest keywords first. And then I probably don't even work on the hard ones, to be honest, because I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah, I talked to a young lady the other day. That's exactly what I said. Find your competition, find the keywords that they're not focusing on, and start building pages on those. So that's that's where I direct everybody to. But hey, we didn't do how's everybody doing today, Craig? What's going on? We get ready to a battle.
I know. I was getting excited with the battle, I just wanted to stir up a bit of what do you call it? A bit of atmosphere. And someone said to me last night. Can't remember who. Oh, I know who it was actually. I was talking to someone last night, and they were talking about women in SEO, and Holly's name get mentioned, and she's like, "What do you think of Holly?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love Holly, love her stuff." And she actually asked, "Am I scared of Holly?" And I'm like, "I like to pretend I'm scared of Holly, but she's actually been super nice anytime we've met. She, although I wouldn't piss her off because
yeah, you don't have a reason to be scared of me. I mean, if you piss me off, that's another story. But I can get along with my competition. I can get along with other people that have training classes. We have the same courses. Chris has the same type of course as I have. I'm not pissy about it because it's always a learning process. I learned something from Chris's course. So, I learned something from any course that I buy into. Just because I'm Holly doesn't mean that I can't learn stuff.
Exactly. I think that's the way you've got to look at it. Like, I bought some of your stuff as well, implemented it into the processes that I've got. One being that micro workers template and stuff like that. But the point I want to try and make is you're actually a very, very nice person. People have.
Don't say that to everybody, though.
No, I know people have a scary thing, and I think that's a bit unfair, which is why I'm bringing it up. But I'm going to leave it to that because I think I'm digging myself a hole. So I'm just going to. Chris, this is your fault. But yeah, let us know how everyone is in the.
I'm just riding the wave, Craig.
We do have some questions coming already from Olesa Coral. Do your news websites show up in Google Discover?
So it's kind of interesting. So Google Console just put out an update, I think yesterday, that is now included in the console. It says Google News too. So there's different parts of Google News, right? You have the Google News tab, you have the Google Discovery, you have news.google.com. So the pre-20 December 2019 sites I have show up in the news tab on Google. The sites that are 2020 do not show up on the news tab on Google. So, but I mean, they show up in organic, which I actually think is, in my opinion, is better because I don't necessarily know how many people click on a news tab link. They do show up in Discover. They show up on news.google.com. So they pretty much are showing up everywhere.
How long do they stay in there, generally, from what you've seen? Because you have a large amount of them. When they pop into news, how long do they stay in there for? 10 days?
The news.google.com so I did a story on Craig, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you look up Craig Campbell SEO, click on the news tab, the site is trading you. And I think that's been there for like 3 weeks.
But for a competition where there's more people getting in there, how long will it generally stick? I'm just curious.
It sticks. I mean, if we look up digital marketing Las Vegas, I don't even know if.
I think I don't know if it's. I don't know. I haven't looked. It's been a while.
Yeah, so it's been a while. So I used to own the entire page, and I don't have a listing on there right now. So, I mean, if you want to, I guess if you're going to own that page, then you're going to want to do weekly or hourly postings. It's just, I more focus on the organic side of it than like the news side of it, I guess.
Right.
And I'm using it for backlink, and I'm using it for tiers, for guest blogs. So it just depends on how you're using it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Someone, CBD Cakes, is saying Queen of Las Vegas, Holly. Yeah, you've done that one very well. Honey's asking, she's got a major keyword stuck in the second page. What do they need to do?
Is that me?
Anyways.
You're it. Well, we have a special guest. Don't we want to ask Holly? I would ask Holly. What would Holly do? That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should make wristbands. Probably something.
Here's how that show should go, Chris. Now,
I'll tell you what I would do, and then it probably would be different than what Chris would do. So if it's a major keyword, it has enough ROI that you're going to make money on it, I would go and find domains, auction domains, if the budget's worthy, auction domains that have the keyword in it and it's niche related. Buy those, 301 it to the site that you want ranking. And, just based on the power of that, should pop it to page 1. It's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is go and get some guest blogs.
No, that sounds... the only other step I would have took was I'd make sure that I'm optimized to the top rankers as far as on page. And then that's where I would go. But you would send a 301 to that, set up like maybe a lead magnet page or a link magnet page first.
Nope, I would send it direct to that inner page.
Cool.
So, Chris, here's how I think the rest of the questions should work. I'll just ask them. Holly can answer them, and then you can dig a bit deeper if there's
anything that. Oh, okay, cool.
So,
I love it.
That can work very well. So, Kerry Maish. So, Black Hat World, what's the crack with them? Some funny stuff goes on there. Do you go on there much, Holly?
I first started off in Black Hat World. I think that was probably one of the first forums, that and like Warrior Forum and Wicked Fire. I haven't been on there in the last probably a year. I was trying to get to go to the Black Hat conference, and so I spent a little bit more time there. But I think I kind of have graduated from using that forum, I guess.
I've got something to ask both of you, actually, while we're here. Paul Hogden, who is in the live chat, he's actually running a Black Hat conference in the UK in, I think it's the start of June. The start of July, I think, or the end of June. And he would love to have both of you speakers, providing that we're allowed to travel by then. If not, then it's going to revert to an online conference. 29th of June, he's saying. Just curious if you guys would be interested.
Yeah, that would be fine for me. I want to come over to the UK again, so that would give me an excuse.
I said to Paul,
Okay.
Holly is looking for excuses to get over here. It says, even at a week's notice when we done the mastermind, she was like,
Yeah.
man, I want to be there. So, yeah, be good if you took both of you would go to it, because I think it's going to be the UK crowd. It's going to be all of the, Dooley and all that will be there, and all of the good guys. So I think it will be a good conference, providing this COVID shit goes away. So that particular thing is going to be called SEOunderground.co.uk. If anyone's looking to find out about it, we've not put up any of the speakers on there, but yeah, I just wanted to ask you outright on here before I forget. And yeah, so we've got Holly, Paul. We're just working Chris. Chris is looking like
that's cool. I'm trying to get in line and try to meet as many people as fast as I possibly can. So if I'm allowed to travel, if we're allowed to travel, I would definitely go without any shadow of a doubt.
Holly is probably very much like me, that there's just so much value in the traveling and networking and
I love them. I'm not a people person. In fact, I hate people. I don't like talking to people. It annoys me. But the conferences are so much fun because I can geek out with everyone there who knows what I'm talking about, and it's not like talking to my wife. I mean, I think I went to 18 conferences last year. I was supposed to go to something. It was 2 years ago. I don't remember now. But yeah, I mean, I can jump on a flight like 3 days. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm packed. My bag is actually packed, so I can go somewhere.
Good news on that, but yeah, we'll let Paul know. But anyway, so Black Hat World, Chris, back to that. Sorry, I went away off in a thing there. What, do you use Black Hat World much?
Well, I was actually intrigued by the graduation aspect that Holly was speaking of. Did she graduate because she has private vendors, or she has her own network, obviously, or is there a better place to congregate that you know of, or that you would say openly?
I kind of went from the forums to the Facebook groups, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like Black Hat World has so many. I mean, they all have newbies, and I'm fine with newbies, but I feel like I don't know if I feel like I don't want to read any more of the new methods. It causes a rabbit hole for me to go onto forums, I guess. And so I feel like if I just stay off that, then I can stick to what I'm doing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm frequently on Black Hat World. I specifically like to read the journeys because I like the newbies, but the newbies are more open to share. A lot of them, there's nothing there, but a lot of times the new guys are willing to showcase something that I'm like, whoa, I never, what is that? Let me go see now. So I like the forums. I like where the people congregate, especially new people, because they're trying stuff, they're learning, and as they learn, I can pick up and be like, oh, hey, that's a good idea. So that's what
when I was like building my list of people to have follow me and building my YouTube channel, I used that as a way for traffic. And now I don't really need to, so I haven't gone back there and done that.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't like Warrior Forum though. I do lean more
back in the day. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But now it's
Wicked Fire was great too.
Yeah, Wicked Fire was like, man, the spamming that came off that was like next level. It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but
at the end of this, we need to have a face-off with you two guys talking about the dirty, spammy shit. It might not necessarily work just anymore, but we'll think about that later on, just to hear what actually was done back in those days. Next one, Mickleback. What and with which kind of sites is the most effective backlink to tier 2 properties?
I mean, for tier 2, you can just fire off like Money Robot and Autopilot or whatever that auto SEO pilot blah 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 thing is. It's just automated backlinks for tier 2.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I 100% agree with that. I just think depending on the niche, though, sometimes if I'm powering up a tier 2, then I'm still going to go and look for the cheaper PBN links or niche edits or something along those lines. But if the budget's low, then tools are probably the way to go.
Tools is going to be cheaper than these edits and PBN, to be honest. So
yeah,
I mean, like tier 1, obviously you would do guest posts and that stuff like that, but tier 2.
I mean, you could get. I mean, there's a lot of back to like say not Black Hat World, but there's other vendors that have pretty cheap. You know, I don't know what you would call them.
You could get like
cheap
PBN probably links for $2 to $5 or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. We've got a Russian on here as well. Hello, and good to see you. Chris, how big is your bucket this week?
Just the same size. It's about a gallon.
Not bad. Good morning, Midnight. Hi, everyone. Thanks for your time. I'm in the process of building an e-commerce site. Should I worry about duplicate content on the product pages? I pointed the product page links to the categories.
I don't do e-com, so I'm going to send this one to Chris.
No, I don't do e-commerce at all, technically speaking. But, what I've seen looking at sites, a lot of times, you're almost required to utilize the same, product descriptions or whatnot. But what I've been seeing is, they'll have that up at the top. But the people that really push up on those product pages, they're adding some unique as well. So I don't do e-com, so don't, I'm just giving a little bit of tips here.
Making it unique is always going to help it. So, Luke Bennett, Holly just mentioned about buying a related domain name and 301 in it to the page. How would that auction domain rank? Would it not rank less than your page you're trying to get from page 2?
It wouldn't rank at all because you're just doing a register 301.
That's right.
It's not like it's getting crawled or anything.
Exactly. So,
yep.
I don't even know why I asked that. I was just reading it out, and then I was starting to get confused. But yeah,
there's nothing to add there. That's it.
Holy moly! It is Holly. 29 June. Right. So. Alessia, Holly, say there is someone who wants to start their own digital business and earn some money in a less difficult way. What is the fastest and most profitable
No
path?
such thing.
YouTube, news sites, Google Maps, or something else?
You can't. It's so hard to make a business when you don't have money. Okay, so money in is money out. So if you put $1,000 in your business, you might not make money for a month or two. So the things that I would start with on a digital platform is stuff that is trending. And big trending right now, for obvious reasons, is stuff with crypto. I have 10 Google News sites coming out in I think next week that all have to do with BTC, ETH and shit like that. And for me, that was a little bit of a stepping stone for digital products, I think, too. Like what we did. So I was doing mining in 2014. I had ant miners, I don't know, I had like 15 set up in my house. We did some sites with BTC, and we made a site that was, we had a coin. I don't know how you say it, but we had a coin once a month that we would talk about and then interview the ISO and stuff like that. And so we weren't paid by cash; we were paid with our coins. So they knew that they were going to get a lot of traffic based on having that video, ranking. And we had a list of people that wanted us to do a interview and a story on their coin. So it's kind of the hard way around it, but it was an easy way to make money because of Bitcoin and stuff like that. And it's so everyone wants Bitcoins right now, and because they're like 35,000 for one whole one. So I think that's the avenue, is to do stuff with Bitcoin, doing stuff with trending. Embarrassing niches with ClickBank is always something I always go back to, is building sites that are embarrassing niches, like hemorrhoids or toll fungus. Nobody wants to talk about that with like their friends. You know, they want to look online and how to fix it. So
Love it. That's borderline genius, Holly. Let's go to embarrassing topics. That's actually a brilliant idea. She should get a freaking beer token for that one.
Yeah. So that's Holly is probably one of the only person
Like it.
in the world that's going to admit to having a website about hemorrhoids.
yeah, I have hemorrhoids. Sorry, I have hemorrhoids. I have sites about hemorrhoids. Oh my god. Someone's gonna like just
chop it out
and say, I have hemorrhoids. Yeah, no, I know.
That's actually going to be my snippet.
Yep.
For 5 minutes. And,
on TikTok and everywhere.
I'm actually just going to take a note of that. So sorry, Holly, please don't hate me, but we have to have you going after hemorrhoids to further promoting this. But we will stop talking about that stuff. So Vincent Hurryman is saying he's looking to do a press release for his business. What advice can you give to get the best bang for my money? Tips to help with local. Is that something you can even help with, Holly?
So I think that it depends upon what you are looking for. Press releases? Or are you looking for stories that are in Google News? I have Google News network that are set up for city type sites. So let's say like the phoenixdaily.com, the dailycharlotte.com. So those type of sites would be only news stories related to that local region. So if I was looking for press releases, I definitely can see an increase in rankings based on getting niche stories out. I mean, that's probably all I can really say, though.
And also, as other people are saying in the chat as well, you do have your man Randy Rodet kicking about as well, who may also be able to help you with that. But have a look, and good to see you here, Scott. Chris, what about you? Do you any recommendations on what you do?
I've been just going around to the services to build my own list. So I've noticed on places like such as Legit or wherever, SEO Clerks, Fiverr, all these places. I've noticed that these guys have distributions for press releases, and it's usually like 150 to 200 sites. And the pricings range. So what I've been doing is snapping those up to build the list and then outreaching. Because once I have it, I'm like, hey, I've already got one on here. And I'm noticing like 4 or 5 people out of, like, say, if I send out 10, half return back and say, hey, if you have another release, you can send it to this address. So I've been just trying to create my own little list here. So my only advice is start looking on those platforms because they're out there and they're not that expensive, really.
Nah. Your man Randy Rodet does a great job on Legit, so check him out. That's someone that I use for shit like that. But yeah, there you go. Mickleback's asking, what seem to be the best kind of pillow links to use for home pages instead of citations?
Why aren't you using citations? Citation is just a nap on any blog post. So if you're making a blog post anyways or pillow links, why don't you put your citation in it?
Always.
Unless you're like one of those people that have to do like quality white hat citation, which is not a thing. I mean, it's a nap. It's a name, address, phone number. Put it on a blog post. It's a citation, and it's a pillow link. So
that's right. Yep.
And to add to that, Chris?
No, your structured citations like Yelp and all this, but just like Holly said, I like that. Unstructured citations, name, address, phone number, anywhere I could put it is going to be helpful. But as far as a pillow link, anything is a pillow link, a foundational link, a link that helps. But no, there's not much to add there now.
Guys, make sure you do give the channel a like and subscribe. Make sure you do take advantage of Holly being here. Ask any questions you want relating to what Holly does, preferably, or any dirty black hat things. That's what we like talking about here anyway. So your questions can get answered properly today. So MD Aftab's asking, how do you find powerful expired domains, Holly? What is your method? Do you just do it the same as everyone else? Or?
I probably do it the same as anyone else. I put a very high-powered website into Ahrefs, and I check all the broken links, and then I'll check those domains to see what's available, what's not.
Interesting.
Yep. That's pretty much it. I mean, I've been going through trying out all these tools, you know, like whatever there is, Spamzilla, Dropcatch, Domain Hunter Gatherer. I've been trying stuff out, but that is, I think that long way is probably one of the better ways to go about it, actually. So that's a good way.
Craig Mullins, mining crypto is now his farm, in my farm. Craig Mullins is completely off his head, and I've no idea what mining crypto right now is. I've tried to stay away from that shit, man.
That's too much.
Mickleback's asking, how long does it take for a 301 from an expired domain name to take effect, Holly?
I think that just all depends. I mean, that's kind of an open question, right? It depends upon the competition. It depends upon how strong the site was, and if it was actually a strong site or it was a metric strong site. I mean, I don't even know if I have an answer. It can be 2 to 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah. That is an open question. I mean, if I had to throw a number, I would say 30 to 45 days. But then it really depends on what's the referring domain, and did you launch any pages to see if it even is there anything wrong? You know, so it can range though, definitely.
Can Islam is saying he has a very low success rate in auto commenting using Scrapebox, implementing DR manipulation course. Any advice?
Yeah, so my best advice is there's a few things. So in Scrapebox itself, make sure you have your 2CAPTCHA API in there so that if there's any CAPTCHA, I've always done it without CAPTCHA until I actually flipped and tried it, and I was like, wow, I get a lot more successes. The other thing is you really need to drive your own lists. I have a database of, I don't know, I think it has like 6 billion English keywords, and so I'm always scraping for new blogs and stuff like that. Another thing that's really creative is if you go to, you're gonna have to look it up. If you go to sites that are like, what's the site? With built or what built with or something like that, and you buy the list. You go to their competitor because that site actually is stupidly priced. So I went to their competitor and I bought the subscription for all new WordPress sites in 3 months. And then I target those sites because they probably didn't turn off their comments. And so they're all open. So I target sites that are new, which are fine because you're just doing manipulation commenting. So but in any case, you have to build your own list. You can't rely on other people's lists. At some point, you have to pull up your pants and do it yourself, you know.
I think that's a big golden nugget you just dropped there. Looking at the new websites. I just love how your weird mind just finds these crazy angles. So, yeah, I like that. Chris, are you anything to add to that?
Nothing to add. No, I like that.
Are you stealing that one for yourself?
I like that. No, I was enjoying that. I've heard of that site before. I didn't even think about searching around for other competitors, though.
Yeah, I tried to buy their database, and it was like they priced me at $36,000 for their list of WordPress sites, and I said, I'll tell you what, I'll scrape it and I'll sell it to you in a month because I'll pay more than you, pal. You know.
Yeah.
Stupidly priced, but I can't remember. It might be like nerddata.com or something like that. I don't remember what the site is. I thought I had the word nerd in it. So it was like $200, and I was able to download 4 million URLs, and they were all brand new. So
it's awesome.
nobody spammed them really, but me.
Yeah, I was doing similar for like the, like the PHBBs and all that kind of stuff, looking for links. So that's interesting.
It is. Paul Hogden is asking, Holly, what SEO technique has given you the best success over the last 6 months?
What? The best success or the most money is entirely different things. So I'm gonna give it two. So the best ROI in the sense of building my net worth is by building the 600 new sites, because I think if I were to sell it, it'd be worth about $1.5 to $2 million. So that was a very good investment on learning how to build those. The best SEO techniques, I've always gone back to saying probably doing I don't know, I guess it's still time that you're spent. So doing like the GMB citations in the YouTube, doing a YouTube citation is quite powerful if you have a GMB. And I think I've been doing that for 2 years and I haven't changed anything on it. And I can send an email out to, I'll scrape pest control companies, or actually not pest control companies, but I'll scrape, like the most recent one I did was hair salon companies. I think it was maybe in Connecticut. And then I emailed them saying, hey, we can give you a boost in your GMB presence. It's a one-time deal. It's $249. You'll never hear from me again because I don't allow people to hire me. It's just a one-time slot. You're at number 10. You're going to be at number 1. And we just do a YouTube citation. It takes 5 minutes, and I made $250. So I guess that would maybe be it.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually, I would probably go the other way as far as the most effective SEO technique that I've been playing with is going back to the basics. Build content and build links to it. It's the most effective. I mean, I've tried all the tricks. I like the tricks and the techniques, but the basics is what's winning, in my opinion.
And Randy Roday says, nerdy data, Holly.
Yeah, that's it.
Nerdy data.
And Paul Hogden is saying this is gold this evening. If you want more gold, guys, ask more questions.
Yes.
22 minutes left. Grab as much as you can from this lady because she has amazing. You just see, just off the cuff, I bought this data from these websites and I spam the new ones instead.
Are you playing? I'm sorry. I thought I had an opening. Holly, are you playing around with schema manipulation of any sorts? I know you're big into manipulation. What are you doing with schema?
I'm not doing anything with schema.
Zero. Zilcho. Okay.
I don't even know how to make a schema. It's like on the platform of things that are going to rank me. It may be a high ranking aspect, but I can manipulate other things better. So I don't.
And if we were ranking things in order, what would you start with as number 1? As
CTR.
far as to rank CTR as 1, and then what's number 2?
CTR.
And then 3. So we were putting in an order of things that we're going to do in order for the fast rankings as far as a process.
So CTR 1 and 2, like engagements, website visits, comments. Those are the top 3. And then like the 4th thing would be on page.
Yeah.
Which we use Pop Optimizer for on page.
Do you prefer Pop over Surfer? Or is it irrelevant? Is that one just what you started with, so that's what you roll with?
Yeah, it's what I started with, so it's what I know.
Yep. I hear that a lot, actually. I ask everybody, what do you guys think?
It's so easy. It's just like click, click, click. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. MD Aftab is asking, can you guys recommend any resource for learning expired domain scraping?
I have a course on it. I don't know if Chris does.
I don't. Nope.
Check out Holly's.
Not yet. That's a good idea. Let me write that down there.
If you email me directly, I'll send you the course. I won't charge you. So you'll have to find my email. I'm not giving it to you though.
Yeah. And so that is the job in the AF tab. Email Holly and she'll sort you out. Randy D, competitor has blog comments from a few high DR sites that link out to a high number of other websites. Are links like that considered to be spammy and tier, or link to money site like the competitor? Holly?
So are they considered to be spammy? I guess they're considered to be spammy and toxic, but I don't care about spammy and toxic because that's what I do. If you have a client site, maybe you got to care about it. So I don't have a problem with the links. I don't know if Chris would. They're not giving you any power. I don't think you need to use them,
That's it. That's the exact thing. Are they spammy? Of course they are. But a link is a link, but I don't think that that's going to be why. And then if you're playing long, which you should be, especially if it's for a business, I mean, why? For what? So just, and if they're doing something and they're winning, that's only for now. That doesn't mean that it's going to always be that way. So I would just personally steer clear, especially if it's something in a property that you care about. That would be my advice.
MDF tab's just blatantly asking, I will want your email.
You'll have to find it.
Dig around, scrape, do things, or I'm open to bribery and corruption. Islam is asking, do you have a specific timely manner link techniques? Like the first month I will build profile and business directories. I'd like to know your backlink strategy to a new website. So how do you normally do it, Holly?
So next week I'm getting 300 new websites. I'll let them sit and warm up for 60 days. I'm not even going to touch them. I'll put Cloudflare on them, to protect the IPs and shit like that. They're going to be auto posting, so it's going to get organic general traffic anyways. But the backlink in itself, I won't start for at least 60 days at that point. I have been setting up tier networks on Google News sites. So like each site itself. So I shouldn't say money site, but my Google News site will get another 10 tier links that are also on Google News inner pages. And then this set of tier 1 will get 25 tier 2s. So each of the 300 sites will get that. And then fuck all, you can do comments to tier 2.
Yeah.
That's what I do, but
immediately. I mean, I don't know if there's really a plan. I mean, you're immediately starting backlinks as soon as you launch the domain with social profiles, building citations. If you're, the initial press release, and then once I'm starting to build out the initial content, I'm building links immediately, because by the time I'm done with the citations and building out the pages in the site, 30 days have already passed. I'm already starting to trickle in a little bit of traffic. Once I see that trickle of traffic, it's link time. So that's what I do.
Interesting. Someone just texted me there saying £100, and I'll give you £100 if I get Holly's email. So he lurks in the background. But also Stephen Buchanan, we will have a drink on you when these conferences open. Thank you very much, mate. Back to the questions. Richard Johnson, can you explain what a YouTube citation is? Are you creating a simple video and dropping the NAP into the video description and link to the GMB?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think it's like 6 to 10 photos like say AC repair, it's 6 to 10 photos that I bought. And then I have some corny music background and then a nap on the actual throughout the whole video. And then I will put the nap in the title, the description. I'll keyword stuff the hell out of it and put pop optimizer content in it and get it indexed in Google and keep it indexed in Google.
Chris, do you do anything like that?
No. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's. I mean, it's. You know, I've been pitching it to anybody that messages me. I think that it's always, start mapping your site over to YouTube. Like it should mirror it. Like here's your playlist. That's your categories or top level pages. Your keywords are your content. Those are your videos. And then just start churning them suckers out. So yeah, I like that. And I actually have a video. So if Richard wants to see it, you could look it up. I think I called it like YouTube citations, perhaps. I think is what I named it. Something to add keyword volume. I know that. I'm not sure what I named it. I think it's YouTube citations though.
Interesting. And also just for the guy that texts me, Davey, I don't know, Dave, if I told you about the woman who was running around with 100 mobile phones. That's her there, man. He's my pal, and his GMB slipped slightly due to the competition, and he's impatient as hell. I'm like, do your own, your some stuff. We'll get CTR booster, we'll get Facebook ads and everything running to it. But he gets impatient. So if you want to go all crazy, Davey, going out and buy 100 phones, because that's what Holly does, to sort of GMBs out. And
I'm taking them next. Is it a week? In 2 weeks, I'm taking them to Dallas. So I have to fly my. I have to put them in a hard suitcase and ship them for 6 days. Because you can't send them through TSA, and I have to ship all my equipment. It's a pain in the ass to bring my phones if I'm not driving. But they work really good.
Did shit not all get broken before?
The shipment from Vegas, I had some, because I have my phones in a board case, and so UPS beat the shit out of that. I broke it. Yeah, I mean, they're only $25, whatever. But yeah, I had some equipment that was broke.
Fucking bastards. Well, that answers the next question. Paul Hogden was asking if you still have your mobile phone rig.
Oh, yeah.
And is it still 100, or have you expanded on that?
I generally only take 100 with me. When I went to Vegas, I took 120. I have 700, but I don't bring 700 in most cases.
Wait, so here is a question, right? And I don't know if someone, I might have even made this one up as well. I'm not sure if I made this up, but obviously people are elaborating stories, right? So you've got your 700 phones. Is it true that you just have guys coming into your basement, like homeless guys, and you give them a pot of soup and they all just start clicking on shit, or is that complete and utter bullshit? I'm not sure.
It's not homeless guys, but I used to have a group of 50 high school students that would come in our basement. We had a meeting room set up, and they worked for me. I paid them cash. We got pizza. We did that for like 3 years until I got in trouble, and I can't do it now. So.
I was just curious to know if I made that up when I was drunk, or I heard it when I was drunk. I heard something along those lines.
Yeah.
And what it's like. People say it's a homeless guy, and it all gets fucking taken out of proportion. But
I didn't never have homeless people. I had people that had, we're friends with some people who know Down syndrome. So we had some Down syndrome people. We had people that were in Fourth Ward, bad areas. And so we kind of just got them off the streets a little.
Yeah, that's a good thing, and a great way to get people doing a bit. Is there anyone in the UK doing GMB listings without a physical address and postcard?
So, not sure what you're asking there.
Why can't you do the same? Why can't you do? I don't know if you guys know how to do GMB verifications without them, but why can't you do the same thing as you do in the US?
Yeah, they can. I'm assuming Miko back because not a lot. The big thing is, until I came out to NFG Rockstars last year, Holly, I never really fucked around with GMBs too much. I knew what they were, and I knew there was money to be made. But you guys do it in a massive scale, and yeah, you just have to Miko back. Look at how these guys are doing it, and I'm pretty sure both Holly, Chris, and many others have spoken about how to do this stuff on their videos. So there's a ton of information out there on how that can happen. But obviously we need to be careful what we say on these videos because we don't want any of the methods to get patched up. That's the only other thing to it. You give someone how to do it and it gets patched up by Google and that becomes a bit of a pain in the ass. So that's why you always get people reluctant to tell you. Sam Fitzgerald, are guest posts effective for local landing page rankings, Holly?
Oh yeah, they're sick. They're sick for local pages if you can get a local URL. So if you guys go to the phoenix-daily.com, that's like a local news site of mine. And so anyone who is, in Phoenix and wants to post on there, I charge $10 and you can post your guest post. It's indexed immediately. You can do maybe the site, that press site is going to actually also rank somewhere in Google, but it also will help your Phoenix local site and your Phoenix GMB. So yeah, they're very powerful for local.
Yeah, I guess it's a link, as long as it's from a good domain, I don't see why it wouldn't be very helpful, so of course it's good.
Cool. I just want to address this one very quickly. I mentioned in a previous video that People Per Hour is a great place where you can get guest posts and niche edits and all that stuff. Can you recommend a seller? I get anxiety when picking a seller. Now, obviously there is some ropey sellers on there and stuff like that, but your money's kept in escrow until that seller provides you what you've asked for. So you've got that peace of mind. So you can try a seller, they don't produce, they don't get the money. Simple as that, because the money's kept in escrow. So I'm not saying that People Per Hour are full of good people. There is some gems in there. And if you want to avoid the middleman selling you some of those kind of, market watch or whatever, go there and buy it yourself. Do not buy them through a third party charging you double or treble the price. That's my point here. But you want to mix your vendors up. But once you get a good vendor on there, they'll probably pitch you some of their other websites they've got access to, and that's how you start to build your list and stuff like that. So that's what I meant if you on one of those videos, if you've ever seen it. So someone else is asking, Cricket Insights, can we put our affiliate link directly in Facebook ads, Holly?
I don't do Facebook ads, but I don't think you can do affiliate links. I think you could do like a way around it is just to get a website. Once it's approved, then just do a hot switch and do a 301 on it to your affiliate.
Exactly. Chris?
Send it to a lander. Yeah, that's pretty common.
That's what Chris is doing every day.
No.
What is the best tool to build tier 2 and 3 backlinks? So, is that what you're currently still using?
Just 1 minute.
No worries. Chris, we'll go to you for this one first. What
best tool for tier 2, tier 3? I mean, that's it. I think it's a preference. I like GSA, if I'm building links to links or if I'm trying to get something indexed, I like GSA.
Yeah, I mean it's just any automated tool, and if you just have to know how to make it work.
Yeah, I think GSA is a really good one in my opinion because you've got the ability to screen lists before it goes and does the automation. I think that's the key part of the whole process. You're not doing the same as Chris Palmer or every other Tom, Dick, and Harry that might just run through the standard list. So, yeah, bear that in mind. Business Growth Ready saying you've got to scrap Holly email to get the training on expired domains. Scrape. The meaning of life in SEO: scraping, stacking, and spinning. I need to employ some of my Sanford. They're all joking about the Sanford, the homeless thing. So yeah, but listen, I wasn't laughing at homeless people either. I just thought that was the story that was told to me. So, no,
I remember watching Holly. She used to do and she would talk about the kids like working. I remember when you came out with that blueprint. Like I was watching you since then. Like I was like, whoa! I remember telling my girlfriend, "Do you see this lady?" And then when I talked to you that one time, I was like, "Yeah, I talked to Holly Starr." She's like, "Oh, really, dude?" Yeah, I remember, man, watching you so many.
Yeah, in I think it was 2014, 2015, and a little bit of 2016, and then I got into a little bit of trouble, so I couldn't do that anymore.
That's how I learned about that video spin blaster, and then that's when I was like, "Oh man, this is great!" You know, for all the cities and towns. Like I was doing that. Once I saw that, I was off to the races.
It's so stupid because those videos that I was training in 2014, like the solar panel shit, those videos are all still up. Like I have tons of. They were Hangouts, so I still have tons of Hangout videos that are up from 2014. Like the dumb video of AC Repair Miami.
Yeah.
That one pops into number one. Every once in a while, I'll get like a flood of calls, and I'm like, God, that video just needs to go away.
And then I have a question, because this is what I've been noticing, and I know you're pretty skilled with YouTube. Have you noticed what's the deal with the videos uploads versus the streaming? It seems like I get a better push and more views instantly with the streaming.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
That's kind of always been that. So Hangouts and streaming always would give you an instant push. But if you don't continue the traffic, then it's going to fall backwards. I stopped doing, for the most part, the live streaming. For the most part, I only do one niche of live streaming now. Otherwise, it's just straight uploads.
And then, do you find, like, say for not for like my kind of channel, but say for a client, have you found success with mass? Because you know, like hitting every little neighborhood. You get what I'm saying? Like for different variations of keywords. Are you getting into trouble when putting up a bunch of videos? Have you been getting jammed up still or no?
You mean like for mass videos?
Yeah, because I keep
so, you have to spread it around. You can't do more than like maybe 20 on a YouTube channel.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Multiple channels. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay, that's a good piece of info. I picked up another piece of information, I think, from one of your videos. The link in the video, link to link, YouTube video to YouTube video.
Yeah.
I've been trying that lately to see, hey, am I going to get a push organically? So that's a big tip I just learned. So thank you for that.
Do it with unlisted, and we would link to link on unlisted videos, and it used to be really, really effective, but I don't think it's effective anymore. I mean, Google reads them, you know.
Yeah, right.
Listed. So it always goes back to the level of, is it a higher level of a ranking aspect in my top 6 or not? So if it's not, I'm not gonna
do it. So almost like a tiering effect, but with the videos. That's actually a pretty good idea to try out. Huh? Interesting.
I've got one question for you, Holly, and Chris as well. You know, we've spoken about YouTube a lot in the past, and I've got this thing. So I've got ODYS who sponsor the YouTube channel, which I've got the link in the description of every video. Is that giving a link out to another website? Is that harming my reach for that video in your business? I
want to know that too.
On like a YouTube video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it harming your YouTube video or like the juice?
Yeah, no. What I want to know is that if obviously YouTube will share your video with more people, you know, obviously if it's getting all the click-through rate and engagement, which I get, But by having that link that takes people away from YouTube,
Exactly.
is that potentially holding my website back on the YouTube? Is that holding my video back on the platform? Should it be no links at all?
Yeah, I want to know that.
I mean, YouTube wants you to stay on the platform.
Right.
So ideally you would push them to another YouTube video about that. And that video, you wouldn't really care about ranking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you would have your promo video pushed to another video about what the actual offer is. The promo video is the one you would just link back to the YouTube video. The second YouTube video you could link out.
Yeah.
So, and do you think it's better not to outbound link, but if you're going to link to a YouTube video, but what if where you're outlinking is verified by YouTube? Do you think that one's okay?
No, it still is the same thing. They want you to stay on YouTube.
Interesting. Oh man, darn it. So just use
that if you have if you have enough engagement, then that video is going to be fine, right? But
right.
for you to stay on YouTube, and if you have a competitor that has the traffic on YouTube and you have the same sort of CTR metrics going on, they're probably going to jump you.
And have you noticed with the playlisting, by adding or utilizing other people's popular videos within the playlist, have you noticed a boost with those?
I don't do that because I don't want to give my competitors any extra. Yeah, I don't want to them out.
Yeah.
Cool.
But sadly, guys, we are out of time for this week. But we do appreciate all the comments and questions and everything else. Please do give the video a like and make sure you do subscribe. Do check out Holly Starks. Holly, where is the best place for people that maybe want to do one of your courses? What's the best place to find them?
You can, obviously you can follow me on Facebook as Holly Starks. You can go to hollystarks.com. You can go to store.hollystarks.com. You can find me on YouTube. That's pretty much the 4 places.
Yeah. So guys, do check out Holly. She's got courses. She's got some good information out there. So do check her out. And obviously check out Chris Palmer, SEO's YouTube as well. But yeah, appreciate everyone here, and thank you, Holly, for coming on today. It has
been
a pleasure.
Awesome. That was fun. I had fun.